Hello, I'm John Stevenson. In this Content Threat Removal in Action session, we're going to look at how you remove threats that are concealed in images using steganography. Now, first of all, why is this a problem? Well, threats can be concealed in plain sight in images using steganography. This technique is being used by threat actors to commit crime on an unprecedented scale, and it's not detectable by conventional anti-malware technologies. Wherever there are images crossing a security boundary, in legitimate websites, adverts, or social media posts, there's a risk of compromise. Indeed, just the act of viewing the image can be enough to initiate the hidden exploit. And this technique can be used to both infiltrate malware into an organization and exfiltrate high-value data out, all of which means we need to find a way to remove threats concealed in images using steganography. The Deep Secure Anti-Steganography Gateway removes the threat of exploits concealed in images using a process called transformation. With transformation, we don't bring the original image across the security boundary. We extract just the information necessary to build a completely new image, leaving behind any malware, and we discard the original, sending the new image on to its destination. Now I'm going to show you the removal of threats concealed in images using steganography. Remember, we said that steganography is the art of hiding something in plain sight. And here we have two pictures of a seemingly adorable kitten. The two files look the same, but in fact they're not. We have cat1 and cat2, and cat2 contains some highly valuable data that can be smuggled out of the organization in a way that won't trigger DLP products. This is done using steganography. If we assume now the role of the bad guy outside the organization, who has received this seemingly innocuous image that's been smuggled out, and who knows a password to discover what's concealed inside using steganography, we can see what happens. So I'm going to give the bad guy cat2, and you can see there that with the appropriate password, he's been able to access the credit card and personally identifiable information concealed inside cat2 using steganography. Now, this technique's being used increasingly by criminals, and the anti-steganography gateway from Deep Secure stops it in its tracks. To show you that, I'm going to transform that image. So here is our cat2 image, and in a live deployment, this capability would be deployed at the network boundary. But we're going to see it in action here using a desktop tool to see what it can do. When we transform the image, what will happen is we'll create a new one. So when I drag cat2 onto the transformation tool, you'll see a new image is created called output.jpg. Here it is. And output.jpg looks just as cute and harmless as cat and cat2 did. It's a perfectly charming little picture. However, in that process of transformation, we've rendered that file threat-free. So now, when our bad guy on the outside, who sat waiting to receive that file and who knows the password, receives it, he discovers that the threat has been removed. He thinks he's going to access credit card information concealed using steganography, and in fact the threat's been removed. So that's how we remove threats concealed in images using steganography. The Anti-Steganography Gateway is a component of Deep Secure's Content Threat Removal platform. It works with existing gateways and perimeter defenses. And it removes threats concealed using steganography in BMP, GIF, PNG and JPEG formats. That concludes our content threat removal in action session. If you'd like more information, don't hesitate to get in touch.